man the hunter. Since the beginning of time, hunting, gathering, constantly moving in search of survival. Constantly moving. Until one day, when the idea of growing our food replaced the need for gathering it. And we succeeded beyond our wildest dreams. Yes, we succeeded beyond our wildest dreams. And now, we're beginning to pay the price. For the very irrigation that has helped create this remarkable abundance has proven to hold within itself the seeds of its own undoing. In parts of the West, irrigation water has brought salts to the surface and left them behind after evaporating, ruining the topsoil. While in others, uncontrolled excess has washed salts and chemicals from the fields, adding them to the groundwater, ruining it for further use. And in the central states, the introduction of widespread irrigation has suddenly begun to dramatically deplete the huge underground reservoir that has made that irrigation possible. A reservoir that took millions of years to develop, the Ogallala Aquifer. Like an enormous underground lake stretching from South Dakota to Texas, it lay virtually untouched until the beginning of this century, when some inventive farmer decided to apply the techniques used on the well-watered family vegetable garden to his fields in general. And in 1908, the first steam-powered irrigation well began pumping water to the fields. During the next 6 years, 139 more were added. But it wasn't until just after World War II that wholesale mining of the Ogallala began in earnest. The results were amazing. Growers in Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas saw fertility beyond their wildest dreams. Water was plentiful, cheap, and unlimited. Prosperity and abundance were upon them. And then, suddenly, the hard truth came home. While nature was replenishing this huge underground supply at the rate of 2 inches or so each year, we were drawing off quantities equal to 5 and 6 feet. In short, after only 30 years, the world's largest well was running dry. Time for a change. And that change is coming in the form of technology. Now computers are being used to tell us when to irrigate and how much. Measuring moisture and evaporation with a precision heretofore impossible, allowing us to use only as much water as is absolutely necessary. Drip irrigation systems are being installed to place the precious water precisely where it is needed and when, drop by precious drop. And perhaps most importantly of all, research is underway to develop new crops that can thrive on less water, salty water, or virtually no water at all. Scientists are hard at work in an effort to identify those genes in desert plants that make it possible for them to survive on so little water in arid regions, and couple them to food crops that cannot. Hard at work to identify those genes that make it possible for some plants to grow in salty soil or salty water, and couple them to food crops that cannot. Biotechnology, genetic engineering, an effort to achieve in the laboratory what years of crossbreeding of plants used to attempt. but with the added opportunity of breeding different species with one another as well. And there are those hard at work trying to find answers in nature to these problems we have created for ourselves. Daring to question the very basis of modern agriculture, the historical notion that simple domination of the land would ultimately serve us best, looking towards cooperation with the land instead. Questioning whether the seeds our ancestors chose to grow so many years ago are still those best suited for our purposes. Searching in long-forgotten seeds for possible answers to the development of an agriculture based on variety, change, and harmony. But none of these potential solutions can serve us well if we do not have the will to bring them to bear. None of them can serve us well if we do not have the foresight to address the future with the lessons of the past close at hand. For while it is true that we have created incredible abundance, millions still live in desperate hunger in our world. To even begin addressing that pressing reality, we can do no less than sustain this progress, no less than solve these problems. For while the price of abundance may indeed have been high, the price of our failure to persevere in its creation will be immeasurably higher.